I know they mad. They can't stop. Number one soundtrack in the world. Black on. Living the number one movie. Women from making records. Making the whole wild VHS soundtrack. Told y'all to run the movie. Told y'all I'm gonna show y'all how to clean your dirty money up with good money. Invest into yourself.
My partner gave me 50.
This is the I'm Kinda Famous podcast. I'm your host, Dusty Rowe. New week, new episode 61. The I'm Kinda Famous podcast. KINDAFamousPod.com. Kinda Famous Pod, also on Facebook. Let's see. Oh, got some more clean ass people collectors out right now, so go get those. You can get that from the Redbubble site. I'm working on some other merchandise, hats and shit like that, so you probably gonna have to order that direct from the website versus going to the Redbubble. But you can get more variety over there. Honestly, that shit for y'all. Right, like I don't really try to make no real profit over there. So anything that you can get to support y'all, like it's like being the walking billboard. That's support to me. You know what I mean? Like the more people that even see it, if you think it's dope, you just want to rock it because it's dope. That's what I'm into. I got some new couple new dope ass designs and shit that I'll be dropping soon. Trying to transition from just like, you know, good ass graphic art to like almost like art pieces, statement pieces and shit. So the new run of designs will be pretty dope. Shit you can still wear, shit that don't like isn't aggressive, but it like it got a different energy to it. You know what I mean? Like, and you also get them fucking by choice people collectors. Those sold way better than I thought they was gonna do. You know what I mean? I thought I'd get a few, but I changed a little. You know, I tried a new method in getting product. Like, I don't even want to call it advertisement because that's not what I did. But I tried to do something a little bit more strategic. I'm big on like I'm not gonna just say go buy shit. I don't give a fuck like that. But I do want to put it up in a way where people can get to it. Like, I want shit to sell itself. Sometimes, like, I'm gonna put it in the position so it can sell itself. Cause then that mean that it was dope. People bought it on their own accord. They ain't just go buy some shit and then put it in the closet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that kind of support to keep it 100 with you. Like, if I say I need to raise some money for something and y'all buy this, don't buy this shit and just put it in the fucking thing. I want you to buy it and wear it. It's more valuable for you to have something that you can go advertise for me and still feel dope than just get a few, you know what I mean, $10-$20. I mean, that's cool and all. I mean, I like money. Don't get me twisted. I like money like a motherfucker, but at the same time, that's not the mission. That's not the goal. The goal is to get this shit out here to the people. You know what I'm saying? But let's see, man. Really, I'm like I'm from 1 to 10 right now. My mood is like a 5. Barely 5. Just my head ain't right. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that shit later. We'll get to speaking of head not being right. I don't even know, that's fucked up ass transition, but XXXTentacion was murdered. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna be as honest as possible. That's what I do. Don't really give a fuck if people agree or disagree. I'm not the biggest fan of the music. Person, that's just not my shit. I'm not the biggest fan of his music. I'm not gonna pretend to be. People would send it to me all the time. I shouldn't even say it all the time. Here and there, it'll be sent to me, and I check it out and it'd be cool. But it's just not like his energy wasn't my energy. But I'm a little older, so like it probably wasn't for me. But he died and was murdered, and no one wants to see that. Like, we not I'm gonna try to compartmentalize this conversation into 2 places. One being that no one wants to see anyone murdered, no one wants to see anyone killed senselessly for whatever reason. So it's sad to know that happened to him in his car, you know, in a place where he's supposed to feel safe and that whole thing. So thoughts and prayers to him, his family, all the people that love him, all them fans that dig him, and all that. At the end of the day, it's still senseless. Now, I think you can do that. I think we can do that. I think we all can express that kind of sentiment and remorse and condolences to a person and what happened, and then separate that from like other feelings. And for me, as much as and I'm not a person that's gonna be like, shit on his name, nothing like that. All this shit is its own thing, and I purposely like, I so last week I had a show, and I decided not to post it. I decided it will not that it wasn't good, but I just didn't feel good about it. It was too soon. And I approached the same subject of his death, and it went to certain places that it was just like, maybe I should give it some time to breathe. And instead of pushing that show back and then, then it be still fresh energy, I said, I'm going to give it its time. And then I'll just do a whole new show. It ain't shit. I'll do a whole different show. And so that's what this is right now. And my deal with, I think you can express those feelings about someone being murdered and still say, I don't fuck with them. I think that's fair. I think it's weird to me to see like people say, legend, young legend, and Tupac for the people, which I'm gonna address that shit. The new generation Tupac, I'm definitely gonna touch that shit. But I think it's weird to me to see this inconsistency. This real inconsistency. Like, okay, he was murdered and suddenly we have all these glowing, great things to say. But when he was alive, there was a lot of shitty things said about him. It was, and did he deserve it? You can be your own judge for that. He had a history of violence. Like, that's a fact. He was awaiting trial for a very ugly domestic situation. I'm not sure where I'm at on like wanting to express details on that. So what I'm gonna do instead of, because I don't want to feel like I'm being disrespectful, and I think it would be disrespectful because this one thing has nothing to do with the other. What he was on possibly could have, but what he was on trial for and what happened to him have nothing to do with each other. So in lieu of that, the details behind his situation I put in the show notes. So it'll be a link to a very good timeline for that. But he had a history of violence, and the thing that he's accused of is very fucking vicious, very fucking ugly. And it's so bad, that's why I can't be on the side of Colin, of just expressing all these great things about him. And also because I didn't listen to the music. So that's it too. I don't really know him as an artist or entertainer either. But I don't understand why people find it difficult to know that these charges exist, knowing he has this history of violence, knowing that these things are quite possibly true, and then can't understand why people don't have the same admiration for him. Like, because of that, I don't have admiration for him. I just don't. But that doesn't mean that like he isn't effective to the fans that he has, that he doesn't mean something to somebody. Like, it just doesn't. Those are two, like, this is the problem. Like, it's almost, for me, I can't separate those things from his art because I didn't really appreciate his art. But then how is it so complicated when someone says Bill Cosby? Like, why are we getting rid of Cosby Show stuff when it's just an act of Bill, like, as a person, if you agree that he did it or didn't do it or whatever. Like, whatever that charges has nothing to do with the art that he leaves behind or the history he leaves behind. Is he still great or is he less great because of those things? Because based on this kid's murder, you would think that, yes, the things he did are still great. The art is great. The person may not be. What's wrong with that? Now, we have decided that we can't separate those two. So if he did something shitty, then his name must also be ruined, or his art must also be ruined. And if that's the case, where's the consistency? Be consistent in that message, or whatever message, or be like me and not really give a fuck. I never jump into like any celebrity thing. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care. It's like, is it really worth all that? Is it really worth all this attention? Is it really worth all the backlash? Is it really worth all the praise? Open condolences. I know these people, so why would I like really jump into that? Like, it's just not me. But it's weird because XX, like his music was, they jump into like how his music just shots up. A lot of like in the streaming era is different. Like you can't compare that to like Pac and Big and all these other artists who died and all of a sudden their music sales went up. You can't really compare it because people have to go out and actually go buy it, right? Like it goes up because people want these little shrines for themselves. They want to go get it before it's gone and want to get it because it's so great because maybe they can make money off of this shit later. Like when certain artists of a certain generation die. For him in the streaming era, yes, his numbers skyrocket because people just want to know, well, what was his music like? Who was he? The curiosity goes up, and it's easy in the streaming world when you only pay $9.99 a month. You can just go check him out. Okay. Oh, yeah. I know that song or I don't know that song. Oh, I like that song or I don't like that song. So I think it's too much credence given to those sort of things too, and to make it seem like it's a lot bigger than what it is, and it's not. It's like a lot. It's so many fucking layers to this thing, and then he had the trolling thing. You could call it trolling. Maybe he was just whatever. Then you got the mental health thing. You got so many fucking layers that go with this, and it's such a complicated thing. It's worth talking about. It's worth examining and analyzing. But at the same time, what the fuck? Like the bickering for me is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me. Because I think you have to understand that someone with the charges that he has against him, that people will not like him. The same way that like people won't like Trump or wouldn't like numerous of people for a whole lot less. Like for a whole lot less. It's more than just like, oh, he made mistakes. I'll tell this story. My kid's uncle, he gets in a lot of trouble, and they always say, his mom always say, was because the dad was so hard on him, or because he didn't have all these opportunities that my kid's mom had. And when I'm in the conversation, I hear about it, and I was like, right is right, is wrong is wrong. You don't need a whole background worth of shit to know when something is wrong. There's things that he did that is just flat out wrong, or accused of doing that is just flat out wrong. And when X's girlfriend feels whatever she feels, what she says, it doesn't change that it was wrong. We know how domestic situations go. And for me, it's a lot bigger because I had a friend of mine murdered to domestic violence. 2 of them murdered in domestic violence for something a whole lot less than the things that he was accused of saying that he would do and did, allegedly. So yeah, it's a little closer for me, and it's hard to separate those things because the baggage I bring. But these ain't mistakes. These ain't small mistakes. These ain't even mistakes he's apologized for. And at the same time, like, I don't care. Like, when you say, well, he was doing this for charity, doing this. Yeah, you do a lot of these things to clean up your image as an entertainer because you don't want to fuck up the money. And that's, like to me, it's always complicated when I don't understand when people can't see that those kind of things happen. You know, it's like a motherfucker go get a haircut before court because you want these things are like you want these things considered in lieu of guilt. You know, you want these things considered when the sentencing phases go down. But rest in peace to that man. No disrespect to him, no disrespect meant. It's just this is my position on it. But also I wasn't a fan of the music. Wasn't a fan of the music, so I don't carry the same baggage as fans do. And then some of the entertainers are shocking me too with this shit. But I think I should do with me. What else? Drake dropped. I kind of waited purposely to when I record the show to see when Drake dropped and what happened, and that he would legitimately drop after all the Kanye stuff and all the Pusha T stuff and all the kid accusations and shit. And I have not listened to the album. I cannot listen to it. Like, I'm a big Drake fan. I cannot listen to a Drake album while everyone else is listening to it. So I'm always late. I always get the quotes late. I always find that bum ass song everybody been talking about late. All that shit. But that's just how I gotta do Drake music. And then it's a A and B side. Actually, I didn't with More Life. With More Life because we did the show with Sam and was it Big Sam? Was it just Sam? With Royce. Rose Royce from Power 935. Like, because I knew I wanted to do that show and had that conversation with about Kendrick Lamar versus the More Life album. That's the only time I listened to it in real time. But this one I'm gonna wait. I'm giving some time to breathe. Plus I'm jamming. I'm on my R&B shit right now. That I don't want to touch that yet. But from what I'm seeing, some good quotes out there. Got some good statements out there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this one. Look, I ain't gonna say too much about it because I know I already kind of peaked a little bit. And what's crazy, I opened up Spotify and it's like it's finally here. I ain't never seen nobody album hit the thing and they be like, finally. He just dropped some shit last year. It's like, finally. Drake been pushing music all goddamn year. He done came out with After Hour, Dark Hours or some shit. Scary Hours. He done dissed Pusha. Done did so much other shit and y'all act like surprised, nigga. But I'm looking forward to it. Drake dropped Scorpion. Or, yeah, Scorpion. And people's like, what does Scorpion mean? Bitch, you're a Scorpio. That's what it means. The fuck you mean? What does Scorpio mean? Scorpion mean? It's a Scorpio. Duh, nigga. Simple. Dumb motherfuckers, man. Let me see what I got going. By the time y'all hear this, or no, I guess not by the time, but I'll be shooting be in a film race. Be getting my acting chops on because my new movie I'm writing or finished writing, producing, directing, acting, working title right now is The Trunk. I gotta get my acting shit right. So I've been trying to, work on my acting a little bit, and I've been invited to be a part of a few things here in the this weekend and next month, which will be July. Got a few acting things I'm gonna be doing to get my shit right, so I can kill it when I fucking do my movie. And then producing. So I'll be doing that. That shit gonna be all day. So, and it's hot. It's like 100 degrees. So I don't know what the fuck. We gonna be in a warehouse. Motherfucker better have some towels and shit. But I look forward to finish that getting out. I'll link it up on the page somehow, some way. I don't know if I probably put it on both arrowfilms.com, AROWEfilms.com, kindofamouspod.com. Put it on that shit too. And then on the Facebook page. So don't miss it. What else? I'm going off the dome. Cause I know what I'm getting to, and I gotta get there slow. Wait a minute. Oh, another thing working on this is fucking the ground up. From the ground up, we got a music web series coming out, based around Wichita artists. Got a few artists signed on for sure. We shot the pilot. The pilot came out pretty good. I haven't edited it. I did a little bit of editing. I think there should be a clip or two on the Facebook page, but been working on that. Me and Carla got together. We're gonna make this web series. It's pretty. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, next weekend I'm shooting some shit. Really, I'm putting together the crew still. So it's solid. We're trying to lock in. I'm trying to lock in the ad spots, advertisement, commercial spots for it. It's gonna be about a half-hour show, and just about music, man. Everybody know I fuck with music. I love music. That's like there's music is number one, movies is number two. So having the opportunity to talk music and really break down, get into the psychology, the passion, the creative process, the music itself, the culture, the people, the audience, the fans, how it all builds up, how they do it. I know how it's done, but me knowing how it's done and then seeing how other people do it in this new wave, in this new culture, this new generation, it'll be dope because it'll be eye-opening for me. And also I like to listen to how artists talk about the craft and break it down. So we get the opportunity to do that. It's an interview. I'm in front of the camera this time for this show. So that's why it's essential for me to have the best cast behind the scene, the best, a good camera dude. I'm going to edit it, but I got to make sure that they right. So when I go sit down and edit, that I know it's super tight. Excuse me. Goddamn drink that I was drinking. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Me and Carla, who's been on the show a few times, now we're producing that, and we're gonna get into a little. We're gonna do a little skits. You know what I mean? Gotta get my acting right. Gotta get my timing right. So the skit shit'll be easy for me, just cause me being me, I just turn it up a little bit. So we'll see how that go. Man, we've been working on that. So me and her got a couple projects in store that'll be real dope. Be coming real soon. You know me. When I say I'm gonna do this shit, it's gonna get done and come out real quick. So I'm gonna do that shit. Also changing some shit about the show. Talk about that in a minute. What else? Something else I know I'm supposed to be talking about. I wrote it down. I forgot. Let's see. Let me think. Let me pull up my little notes because I wasn't gonna pull up the notes, but I will. Hey, one thing I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. One thing I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna start incorporating. So it's a little thing I want to do with the show. I don't know if I want to do it at the beginning or the end. Well, I just, I've been doing the what you listen to, what you watching deal. Now the problem is when sometimes with guests, I forget. I just forget. Because we get to a place and I look at the clock and I see, we done killed the time. So I want to go ahead and get out and stop laboring it. So then I get out. But what I want to do is just start introducing new music, but new music from unknowns or relatively unknowns. So I got a way, man. When I be on Spotify, I just go find some shit. And I just go looking for, someone who ain't got that many fans, who ain't got that many listens, and I just check it out. And I usually find some real dope new shit. So I think I'm at the end either play. Yeah, I'm gonna probably play a little bit of some new music and then put that shit out there, and then y'all can go find it if y'all dig it. So I'm gonna work that out. I'm gonna see if I can work that out this week. And let me see. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try that today. And we'll put that shit out. So let me get into this next part. Let me get into the second half of the show, because this is gonna be a short one. So I have been dealing with some shit, and I've been working on the mental health shows, which are not easy to do, because I'm more busier than I ever been. And that's not a bad thing. I always say that, you ask for all these accolades and these achievements and shit, and then when you get to them, you got to be prepared. Like, you can't act like you can't act like there's too much work right now when it's really just scratching the surface of what the work can be and what the work would be. And that's kind of like where I'm at. Is I got a lot of work, way more work than I thought I would, and I have all these things I want to create, all these things I want to make. It's cool and it's happening, but the problem is the people. Can I say the people? It can't be the people. Let me think before I say that. The problem I think this is what happens. Let's pull the curtain back on the show a little bit. So I was experimenting with the show for a little bit, trying to figure out. I've been wanting to co-host. I've been wanting to dead ass wanting to co-host because I think it's smart. I think it's the right direction for the show, and I may still get that. But what's hard about the co-host thing is you got to have somebody who's equally as dedicated to success as you are, whatever that level is. My level is fucking high as shit, just flat out. But if your level ain't as high as mine, whoever you work with got to be dedicated to somewhat that same level. And it's not, the podcast shit is easy. Like, we just talk for an hour or whatever it is. But the problem is, like people want to do it. I get a lot of people want to do it. But then they don't show up. And what I was doing was trying to, wait it out. So, instead of, doing the shows when I would normally do the shows, I would do them when they were ready, when they were available, right? So everyone has a weird schedule, weirdly. And I always look at people who say they with the hustle, with the planning is weird. Period. Not for me, for most people, for a lot of people. And what I mean by that is people dedicate and agree to more shit than they will want to do at the time it comes up. For me, someone can call me right now and say, let's shoot. I'm with it. Someone say, hey man, I want to make this video. I'm with it. If someone said, if I got a call right now and say, hey, are you doing your podcast? I'm going to come through. I pause this bitch right now. Let's do it. Because my dedication, my level of drive is that high where I can let's do it. I don't need a lot of planning. I don't need a lot of everything. I just want when it's me, just give me the details, and I know in the first few lines am I with it, and I know in the first few lines I'm dedicated to it. It's plenty of shit. And what's crazy is plenty of shit that I agree to that the day will come that I don't want to do it. The day will come that I depression is sitting in and I don't want to do it, and I show up every fucking time. Cause I think it was said that if there's something that you don't want to do and you do it anyway, there's something about the human body. It's something about the human brain that turns on and changes just a little bit, where you're digging into a place that you don't normally work from. And then that's what makes you execute, and then you execute it differently and even better in some cases. So if I commit to it, I'm still gonna do it. I don't care what time it is or whatever. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do this shit. Everybody not like that. And whereas some things I'm okay with because I understand that other people have their lives. So I'm not this is my shit. And it only fails if I fail. It don't fail if other people don't come through. What I mean is, people don't give a fuck if other people didn't come through. If someone told me they was gonna do something, they don't do it. If someone said they're gonna show up and don't show, no one gives a fuck. They just expecting me to produce. So it's still ultimately up to me. If nobody show up, it's still ultimately up to me, which is fine. I agreed to that's the agreement I made with the contract of entertainment. But be it the podcast, be it filmmaking, be it music, be it graphic, whatever it is, that's the agreement that I made. So that's the frustrating part, right? People just not about that. That's also been the thing that has made me this crazy, workaholic type of dude. Where I got a mean ass fuck it gene. That I just say, fuck it. They don't want to show up? Fuck it. I got it. Fuck it. I got it. Need someone to do this? Fuck it. I got it. And I just learned how to do the little things that people told me that they would do. It's been that way since I was making music, because my vision is so vast to the things that I want to get to that sometimes waiting isn't efficient enough. Success don't wait for anybody. Ever. That clock keeps working. That clock keeps ticking. And it's either your time or someone else's time. I said on the last show when I told you about the conversation with call her what she says. You know, she's being patient and just letting, you know, these things happen. It's just like, fuck it. Let's just make it. Just to show up and do it. Because in the end of the day, like, people get caught up in being perfect. People want things to happen with right timing, perfection. Everything that's happened for me, why I always say, man, it was just perfect timing, is because I had 17 different delays and then the thing happened. Not because I wouldn't have did it when I wanted to do it. Because I'm just more about, let's get this shit out. I got, the other day, or a month ago rather, I was talking to some friends about music, and I was talking about like all the music that I have that's either unfinished or I never put out. And so I was just looking down the list, and of the computer or the hard drive, I still have of songs that I either started, finished, and never put out, or just in those rough stations. And like 2 albums, I got a whole album that I never put out because in the worst state of like depression and addiction, I was like, if I die, I want that album to be the one. And I gave it to somebody, and I put it in like a safe deposit, whatever, because of the circumstances I was in at that time. And I talked a little bit about it, about being signed and everything, but the circumstances and the damage I was doing to myself at that time, I was like, I want that to be the one that come out. But I have like over 600 songs that's not put out and some not finished. And I just like, let me just start putting this shit out now. Just put it out and don't do shit with it. But every circumstance I had was because in my mind I go, I will get perfect. I will get perfect. But I'll never be as perfect as I wanted to be. So why am I sitting up waiting for the perfect time, the perfect moment, and perfectionism to release some shit? Because perfectionism has killed a lot of careers. I know people now who time just passes by because they're trying to be perfect. They're trying to wait for the perfect time, the perfect moment, all that shit. Time is just wasting. It's lost because it ain't stopping. And I don't have that anymore. Like, I don't have that mentality. If I want to make some, like the things, you know, you massage it to be good. You know, you expect it to be good. So the art form itself, I expect to be good. Timing is a marketing thing. Timing is a promotion thing. Time, like, all that has to do with selling something. Yeah, we'll take our time selling it. We'll figure out the right way to sell it. But the content itself, you just got to make it and put it out. Just put it out. Make it and put it out. When I say put it out, I just mean like, okay, now you made it. Let's put it out. Like, don't sit here and labor over this shit. What you gonna labor over one song when you can make 10 and then come back to that one song? You're gonna labor, let's get it. Let's make it right. Let's make it sound good. But perfectionism is an impossible task. So why lean on that shit? And so I see that. I see people go like, I'm gonna wait for this. I can't do it. Like we're making the web series, the From the Ground Up web series. I have a certain strategic way that I want to deliver that. And I have to be smart about how I do it because I feel like it's a game changer. But it's not going to get caught in perfectionism. I can tell you that right now from the pilot episode. I done seen the footage. So I can tell you right now, perfectionism is out the door. So I got to do my job to make it still presentable. I think that's the difference. Presentable versus perfection. Make it presentable. It's good. Sounds good. Looks good. All that kind of shit. Presentable. Let perfection come. So waiting hasn't been my thing, like to get to the shit. But I said I would try something different. Even with my movie I'm writing. With the show, I was trying this. Learning how to trust people to do what they say they'll do. And I'm not a person that's going to hunt. I don't hunt anybody. I don't remind. You make the agreement. You make the agreement. I don't have to mind you of the agreement you made. So I don't. I let people be. Because if you care about something, you pay attention to it. Right? Like, if I give a lot of information, and you tell me that you're gonna look it over, or I give you these things and you tell me you'll sell it. That's all I expect, because you said that's what you're gonna do. And my problem was I made backups and contingency plans for people not coming through. So I said I wouldn't do that with the show. I'm gonna trust people to be people. Clearly it didn't work. It just come down to I don't think I think I come from a different place. Nah, I shouldn't even say me. I think when I look at all the things that motivate people, I often say how did that motivate you? How did that make you want to work? How did that make you want to jump forward? How did that make you want to be the best version of you, or kick into the next version of you? Because I'll be the first to say, you can't be successful by yourself. It always takes a team of people. It's one person that gets the credit, but it always takes a team of people. The hardest thing is building a team, finding the right teammates, finding the right people. That's the hardest part, because everybody have to be on the same level of thinking, not even thinking, of consistency. Everybody has to be on the same level of consistency. You can't resent nobody. There can't be no negative energy, period. I can tell you 100%, that's the scariest thing right now for me. From the ground up, that's scary right now for me, because I'm partnered with somebody. And I know my level of dedication. I know my level of push. But I can't push someone the same way I would push me. I have to believe in them. And I do. I'm fortunate enough to have someone that I truly believe in. The scary part is I hope that they believe in themselves as well. Because that's the scary part for me. Making my movie, I believe in my ability. I believe it'll win an Academy Award. But will everybody else? Because if you believe that, I think everybody works with that intent. We're gonna do the best shit. And it scares me that they may not. Which is fair, because it's not their shit. But that frightens me right now. That don't mean I'm gonna work less. That don't mean I'm a half-ass. That mean it's up to me to make sure I put the right people together and hopefully motivate them to want what I want from it. And adding the true producer credit to my title, that responsibility is on me, so I can fix my own fear if I want to. But it's enough to make you want to quit. I considered it. There was a point I'm working on developing this series that I was like, this probably won't work. Because mentally, I'm just not used to working with somebody. And I was thinking that they don't care the way I care. Then I was looking at the footage, and I wasn't happy with the footage. And I was listening to my interview, and I wasn't happy with my interview. I found everything and anything wrong that I could find. Then I got to a point where I was like, fuck sponsors, fuck ads. I don't need no fucking money. I'm going to make this shit, and then they're going to buy it. And then I knew that was dumb when I said it, because that's not the plan. The plan is to produce a show from front to end that could be on TV in some form, that could be remade for TV, that could eventually be picked up for TV. Even though my goal isn't TV, I have an amazing partner. Be honest with you, I just don't ever want them to doubt themselves. That's the scariest part. I don't ever I'm expressing doubt, but those things I go through because I need to. I need to feel like I could fail for me to work harder. I have to. It's unhealthy, but I have to feel that way. For others, they feel that way and they believe it. And I don't want anyone I'm involved with to feel that way. You know the show Entourage, like everyone believed in that dream. Everybody believed in that shit. That was the amazing part to me. That's what I'm trying to make. Like, I've been privileged enough to know some amazing people. Like, to went to school with these people. And we all have that same like passion for the craft. You know, Chanel's been on here, Aaron's been on here, my man Mike, Ben, man, Shaheem, like so many people who I mean, I'm rifling names that you know and you don't know you know them because you've seen them, you heard them, like craziness. And we talk about it all the time, like we should get together and do something. It was just impossible with the way we live lives. So it's like, you got to start making your own team. And that is what I'm attempting to do in the most frightening way possible. So I created this podcast for this moment, for this particular moment. It was meant to be entertaining. It was meant to be like joking. It was meant to be talk about music and all this kind of shit. But it was also meant to be like an audio diary for production. If you go back to episode 1 or 2, I said that then, that, you know, as I start to make shit, this would be an outlet for that, for me to talk about it. So this is where we at. We're at a place where I'm talking about production. I'm talking about filmmaking. And the truth of the matter is that when it comes to these moments, it's like the darker moments for me. Like the way that I live gets darker. My relationships get darker. The people I deal with on a friendly basis gets darker, like it's distant, because all I can think about is like getting this to the people, getting it picked up, getting it sold, all that shit that goes with it. Like I don't think about like people. It frustrates me when I see people just throwing shit at the wall. There's no strategy, there's no plan, there's nothing. I'm just gonna do something. I've never worked that way. I've never looked at, oh, Jay-Z does this, so I'm going to try that. No, this shit works for Jay-Z. You got to almost be an alchemist and take all those things out. I've been listening to Jay Prince's book, The Art of Respect, or whatever it is, listening and reading, because it's kind of hard to listen to him sometimes. Read like a child. Be honest with it, no disrespect to Jay Prince, reads like a child. Reads like a third grader who just trying his hardest to read. No complicated word. He spit out like 3 complicated words. Like, look at James. Wow. Look at James go. That's how I felt listening to it. But like listening to how his approach was. And I told someone like this crazy about Jay Prince. Like, that's my father. That's my father. Like, that's exactly the tactics my father had. He was a gangster. He was aggressive. He was hard-nosed. He didn't play no shit. My mom is a smart, strategic person. She's a researcher. I'm the best of both of them. And it's complicated for me at times. It's because I want to do gangster shit sometimes. Sometimes I want to just chunk somebody up, rough them up. Like, yo, stop fucking playing with me. I don't like money, business shit, keeping a buck. Bruce, was my artist, was making his album, and he was not committed to the work part of it. He wasn't doing the formula that I made. When I say formula, I'm not talking about telling him what to do. I mean, like, record this way, show up this way, do it this way, and send it to me, and then I can do my part. He wasn't doing shit. So I was like, okay, if you're not going to do this, I'm going to let you make the bitch by yourself. Trust your own goddamn self. And he's a phenomenal artist. And then he's mad at me. He's getting mad at other people. He's telling other people things that I've said and done or didn't do. And I don't make him sound this way. And I don't put him on this shit and that shit. And eventually I had to be like, look, dude, like I had to address the situation. I'm not gonna put that out there. I had to address the situation with aggression. And that's what I want to do a lot. But you can't with certain people. This ain't rap that I do. Is people involved that you can't just check like that because they operate differently. And because of that, I have to be smarter. So when I see other people just throw shit at the wall, I'm like, nah, that's dumb. Like people go, oh, you gotta do several things. I'm like, yeah, you do gotta do several things. You gotta do something great and everything else good. You can't do something good and everything else average. No one gives a fuck. Now you look like you're just doing shit. Everything has to be good, something great. Because then you look phenomenal. Because then when shit works, you know why it worked and how it worked. You have to have a strategy. You have to understand psychology. You have to understand how people think. Not how you think, how people think. You have to understand the way people interact. How they use social products. How they respond to the world. What they do and don't respond to. Like what you do when you sell a product, Pepsi can't afford to just trust their gut every single time. Pepsi can't afford for someone to tell them for them not to listen to the people that they're trying to sell to. They can't afford to do that. You have to listen to the people when they tell you something isn't right. You have to listen to the people if they say it's not good. You have to listen to, yes, people can dictate where the direction of your career. That's just the fact. Unless you're just making it for yourself. And if you're making it for yourself, why are you trying to sell it to a consumer? Make your shit and go listen to it or watch it or whatever in some other fucking room. I was at a fucking filmmakers round table. And all of them said they didn't care about the money. All of them, not all of them. A lot of them said they don't care about the money. And a lot of them said they don't watch movies. How the fuck are you making movies and you don't watch them? How do you know where things are going? How do you know that you're doing the right thing? How do you know you're shifting a mood? How do you know what the new psychology is? How do you know how people are watching something? How do you know how they're consuming something? So you're just sitting up making shit for you. That's not a product. That's not a product. I don't give a fuck how many people watch it. I don't give a fuck how many people listen to it. That's not a product. That's just some shit you made for you. That I can't afford. I care way too fucking much. It's like I'm in the sweet spot of making shit for the art and then making shit for the money, I guess. For a version of success that is fiscal. Got bills to pay. This is an expensive hobby. It's expensive. So once I made it a full-fledged company, I knew that it can no longer be a hobby. It can no longer be about doing it for the heart. I put my heart into what I can, but a lot of it is how are people consuming this. Can I make dope shit that I still love and that people enjoy? From the ground up. Why I feel like I have the right partner for this? Because I feel like they see shit how I see shit. They listen how I listen. And the things that contrast us are perfect enough that it will elevate. So when the strengths are strengths, the weaks are strong. That's perfect. I feel like great chemistry and everything. That's why these projects I feel will work out. But that's me saying this. I know I have a defense mechanism against fear of failure. I don't know if they do. I feel like I'll get the right people for my movie. But I don't know if they have the fear of failure and a good defense mechanism for it. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing to me. It's really amazing to me how people, like, I don't know how they see the world, which is crazy to me. When you want to be an entertainer, when you want people to celebrate you as that root word of celebrity, it's so different. It's not just social media. It's not just hashtags. It's not just, oh, I made a new thing. It's like a true passion. What's crazy, I'll tell you one thing that happens I see a lot. Someone come out with an album or project, and I swear they put everything into promoting for 1 week. They put everything for 1 week. And then they fall back a couple times a week. Then they fall back once a week. Then they fall back to every now and again. And it's like, you put in all this fucking work and you don't push that bitch. It's crazy. Because I see not even mainstream, little indie dudes. Like dudes I know ain't working up under an establishment. And they push that bitch for a month. Hard, aggressive. They book their own shows. They don't wait for no one to call. They go book their own shows. They show up to this. They do this. They do that. Like, you got to put yourself in people's faces. I haven't waited for anyone to do anything. I go to them. So if someone's interested, fuck it, I go to them. Let's do it. All they can do is tell me no. If they tell me no, I'm just sitting up the way I would if I never asked at all. But if they tell me yeah, boom, that's a new opportunity. It's crazy how easy some of this shit is, to be honest. Shit is really easy. It's just how bad you're going to work for it. And how much arrogance and ego are you willing to put in front? How much of it can you set aside? How much do you care about criticism? Critique. Failure. A lot of it. I don't know the difference. I don't know if some people are afraid of fear. Or do they fear failure or do they fear success? Because I see a lot of people just like kind of stop at a point. They get worried about all the perceptions that they could get. Oh, they moved over to this. Here's an example. She may hate me for it. Teely also. She got a few dope sexual songs, and I always say, man, you need to push them songs. And she don't. And I think a lot of it has to do with like she don't want people to view her a certain way. She don't want certain people to come across her shit and hear this raunchy song. It's too much music out there to worry about that. It's too much success on the line to worry about that. My podcast, like my mom, like y'all know I've talked about my mom on the show before. It's certain things that I say. I curse. I don't curse in front of my mom just out of respect. I don't never fear like her listening to it. And I know she's heard it before. Because at the end of the day, my mom asked me to say, hey, Mom, we got to entertain the people. Got to entertain the people. So that's what I dedicate to doing. I say shit that may not be agreeable for most people, but I like at the end of the day, I gotta get to an hour for the podcast, and it entertains the people. Every artist who talks to me knows that it's more about the people than it is about me. You can disagree with me all day. That's good. That means you're engaged. Artists don't like. Artists are so. They always use. Erykah Badu said it. Sensitive of my. Sensitive about my shit. I'm sensitive about my shit too. But I ain't so sensitive that I can't push it out there. I ain't that goddamn sensitive. Like, it's the cliches. People get lost in the cliches, the sayings, the words, the whatever. Like, it's about the fucking work. Are you putting the work out there? And you'll see. Like, I stress out about not having shit out. I stress out about not having shit, creating something new, creating something dope. That's where the t-shirts come from. That's where the apparel come from. That's where the designs come from. Podcasts come from. Shows come from. Clips come from. Everything is like, boom, I got to be putting. I haven't not put something out every year or every month or two since I started entertaining at 15 or some shit. Every fucking year, maybe 1 or 2 years when my daughter was born, I chilled. But even then, I remember I was still putting shit out. Like, that's how much you gotta be dedicated to that shit. Ain't no breaks. Somebody, you breaking? You could break this whole shit. The whole pendulum swing can change. You gotta fucking slave to the momentum, and that's what I'm committed to doing. Slave to the momentum. If it's working, it's working. Let's do it. If it's not, let's fix it. I'm not going to be so sensitive that I'm only going to make the shit that I like. Some shit I made that I don't like, but people like it, so I put it out. Y'all love the fuck out of Carla and Caitlyn. I don't even know if we agree on shit sometimes when we talk. Fuck it. Invite them back. Come on back. Y'all say y'all like it. Fuck it, let's do it. Not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying y'all like it. If I liked it and y'all hate it, these motherfuckers don't come back. Or unless I can find a strategy behind making unlikable people entertaining. Flat out. Anyway, let me fucking cut this shit short. Because I'm tired of my phone going off and I really need to be editing something else. But, some shit gonna change with the show a little bit. Little tweaks. If I end up really getting a co-host, or a guest host, I'm gonna keep trying to do that, but I won't sacrifice the show for that again. That's why some gaps were happening. There was planned things, and I'm waiting to the very last moment, and they still don't show up. So stop doing that shit. I'm gonna go back to my regular recording schedule, and if they down, they down. If they not, they not. But I can't not do my show. Alright, so we're gonna be back on that. New shit with the show, new music. So let me figure out how I'm gonna do this and give y'all this song. So this artist I found called Asiahn. Asiahn. And I'm gonna give a few. I'm gonna see if I can do about 30 seconds of a track I'm listening to. The name of her project is called Love Train. So this song, I forget what I was listening to. Run Isley's daughter, and this little ditty. Her name was in the algorithm of other people I may like. So I checked it out, and this motherfucker is bomb. So I'm gonna play this song called Faded from Asiahn, Asiahn. This off Spotify. Give you about 30 seconds of that, and then we'll kick it to the end of the show. So thank y'all for listening. KindaFamousPod.com. Go over there. Facebook.com/KindaFamousPod. Check it out. And also, if you want more information on the I'm gonna do something a little different with the Mental Health Awareness Week. That's still coming. Part 2 of Situationship is still coming. Because as I get in the production mode, I won't have time to do the show unless I can do them early enough. Then we will, or I may do a couple shows in a week like I used to, where I would do shoot a bunch of shows,
These bottles keep flying,
record a bunch of shows and then put them out. in time. So I'm gonna figure something out with that. But until next time, tell your mama say hi. Hold on, let me run that back. Goddamn drink. Till next time, tell your mama I say hi. This is Asiahn. Faded. Kind of
Brooklyn on the lookout, she trying to make sure that I'm ready. If you slide through, 'cause I just need some time here to get over you. Keep thinking about the pain and shit you put me through, babe. It's occupying my mental, and that ain't the shit that I'm into, and I can't do it. I'd rather be faded. I'd rather be faded and grip on some asses, I swear, with a bad bitch who play in my head just as long as you are not here. I'd rather be faded. I'd rather be faded than sit here and worry about you and shit you weren't able
So, in light of you being kind of famous,
Why the hell I'm kind of famous? Who the hell she know?